Many casual commander players hate poison. Let's go over a few of the reasons why, and whether it's justified. A player with 10 or more poison counters loses the game. The most common ways a player receives poison counters are from creatures with infect, toxic, or cards that specifically put poison counters on players. And you can use proliferate effects, which allow you to add a counter of any kind to a permanent or player to increase the number of poison counters on a player. One of the main issues players have with poison in Commander is they don't like that it requires only 10 poison for you to lose the game in a 40 life format, when poison was originally designed around a 20 life format. This is the reason you hear people say that they want the rules changed to increase the number of poison counters required for you to lose the game in Commander. Some people actually have house rules to increase the poison threshold because they don't like that it's at 10. Next, we have likely the most salt-inducing aspect of poison, and that's losing out of nowhere. This is typically done through infamous cards such as Blightsteel Colossus, Triumph of the Hordes, or Tainted Strike. Blightsteel Colossus will typically be cheated into play from someone's hand, usually tapped and attacking, resulting in that player losing the game when they get hit by the Blightsteel Colossus. Triumph of the Hordes is a 4-mana sorcery that gives all your creatures +1/+1 trample and infect, which turns even the simplest board of weak creatures into a lethal threat for the entire table. Tainted Strike is a 1-mana instant that gives a creature +1/+0 and infect until the end of turn. Tainted Strike can be used as a combat trick on anyone's creature to eliminate one player from the game at instant speed, or you can use it on a creature that deals direct damage to each opponent, resulting in your opponents receiving poison counters. And the final reason is that there is little to no interaction once you have poison counters. With other damage or drain effects, you can always gain back life so that you don't lose. However, there are very few cards that can actually remove poison counters from a player. And even if they release more cards that can interact with poison counters, you are unlikely to ever want to actually play cards like that because they're way too situational. Poison is niche and you're not going to run into it that often. It is not worth a card slot in your deck. But is poison really that bad? I think people get too caught up on the number 10 and they see, oh, I have 40 life, but I only need 10 poison counters to lose. And that just leads them to feeling like, oh, poison is unfair, poison is overpowered, this and that. They feel cheated. A lot of creatures with infect or toxic or cards that give poison counters are overcosted or just not very good, and the fact that they give poison counters is kind of the only thing that they actually do that's relevant. And you can proliferate the poison counters, but it takes time and setup, and I think by the time you spread poison counters around and start to proliferate them, it's likely time for somebody to try to end the game anyway. Blightsteel Colossus, Triumph of the Hordes, and Tainted Strike are the cards that give poison a bad name. There is nothing wrong with playing these cards, but these cards can appear in any number of decks and unexpectedly eliminate a player or outright win the game. And since poison is the reason they lost, people are just like, I hate poison, I can't stand poison, it's unfair, it's unfun. But I don't think that poison is to blame for that. It's mostly the fact that the game is ending out of nowhere. As far as poison being difficult to interact with in Commander, the same could be said for Commander damage. When you have 21 Commander damage, you lose the game and there's no way to get rid of it. Once it's there for the rest of the game. And you might be thinking, well, I don't like Commander damage either, they should change that rule. Both of these are great counters to life gain strategies, as well as being cool alternate win conditions. We have multiple poison decks in our play group, and some people at our LGS also play poison decks on occasion, and I've never seen anyone get salty or upset about poison. Typically, you will become the arch enemy if you play a poison deck, especially once somebody gets a poison counter. They're like, oh no, it's the end for me, you have to go, and they'll do everything in their power to eliminate you, but that's part of the fun of it. I think you just have to embrace being the arch enemy if you play a poison deck, because it's going to make people nervous. So let me know in the comments down below how you feel about poison. Thanks for watching. Until next time.